Fleet Commander Rax had seen many foolish decisions in his career, but this was suicidal. Somewhere in the far reaches of the Confederation's border space, one of his captains had committed the ultimate mistake. They had taken human children, and Rax knew exactly what was coming. Subscribe for more stories. Fleet Commander Rax stared at the glowing tactical display, his two primary eyes narrowing while the secondary pair remained locked on the cascading stream of text. At first, he thought it was a clerical error, perhaps a mislabeled cargo manifest or a corrupted sensor log, but the more he read, the colder the pit in his stomach became. There it was, line after line of incontrovertible data, and the stark, unblinking truth of it was enough to make his frilled neck ridge flatten against his collar. Someone in his fleet, one of his captains, had done the unthinkable. Rax's voice was a low, dangerous rumble when he spoke. "Communications. Patch me through to Captain Lorvik. Now." "Yes, Commander," the officer replied, hands darting across the console. A few heartbeats later, the angular, ridge-faced image of Captain Lorvik flickered into existence above the holotable. "Captain," Rax began without preamble, "I have in front of me a report stating that your vessel, the Valiant Crest, intercepted an unarmed human vessel near the border of Sector 9. Is that correct?" Lorvik's expression shifted into one of pride. "Indeed, Commander. The vessel carried no official registry, no transponder code matching civilian records. We boarded her without resistance." Rax's tone hardened. "And what was aboard?" The captain's chest swelled slightly. 19 human juveniles, Commander, accompanied by 2 adult supervisors. They claimed it was an educational excursion, a field trip, I believe they called it, but our security officers suspect reconnaissance. We have detained them for questioning." For a long, terrible moment, the only sound on the bridge was the faint hum of the life support systems. Then Rax inhaled slowly through his primary gills. "Captain Lorvik," he said, each syllable measured like the weight of a warhead being armed. "Release them, immediately." Lorvik's brow ridge twitched in confusion. "Commander, with respect, regulations clearly state that—" "I am not interested in regulations," Rax's voice cut across the channel like a plasma blade. "Do you have any idea what you've just done?" Lorvik hesitated, genuinely perplexed. "They're just small humans, Commander. They pose no threat." Rax leaned forward until his face filled the captain's display, his eyes narrowing to slits. "That, Captain, is precisely the problem." He could already feel the weight of history pressing down on him. Every instinct, every scrap of hard-earned experience told him the same thing. This was no ordinary diplomatic incident. This was a catastrophe in the making. And the clock had just started ticking. Captain Lorvik's ridges darkened a shade, his posture stiff with offense at the interruption. "Commander, we acted within full authority. An unregistered vessel this close to our border could not be ignored. If it truly was a civilian craft, then the humans have only themselves to blame for violating." "Stop!" The single word from Fleet Commander Rax landed like a drop of molten metal. The air between them seemed to tighten. "Captain Lorvik," Rax continued slowly, "you have made an error that could burn half this sector to ash before the cycle ends. This is not about authority. This is not about border law. This is about survival, yours, mine, and the Confederation's." Lorvik blinked, clearly unaccustomed to being spoken to in such terms. "Survival? Commander, they're children. They are human children," Rax snapped, his tone carrying the weight of a verdict. "Do you understand what that means?" Lorvik's eyes flickered in confusion. "Different physiology? Higher metabolic rate? I am aware of their physical—" "Not their biology," Rax growled. "Their value. To them, to their people, to their entire species." The captain tilted his head, still not seeing the magnitude of his mistake. Rax exhaled slowly, the membranes along his throat fluttering with agitation. "Listen carefully, Captain. Most species in the Confederation are what our strategists call broad spreaders. Many offspring, minimal investment in each. If a few are lost, the colony continues without disruption." He leaned forward until the hollow capture magnified the sharp set of his jaw. "Humans are the opposite. They produce few. Each one is guarded, nurtured, and invested in with a level of ferocity you clearly do not comprehend. They will defend their young with a total disregard for odds, logic, or survival probability." Lorvik gave a dry snort. 1 human against a Confederation cruiser is hardly... Rax slammed his palm on the console, startling the bridge crew on his end. 1 human, you fool! This isn't about 1. You now face the rage of 19 sets of parents, extended family units, their allies, their fleets, and their societal ethos that treats every child as the responsibility of every adult. To them, all 19 are their own. The captain's mouth closed, the realization dawning too slowly for Rax's comfort. You've mistaken this for a routine seizure, Rax said quietly, almost mournfully. It's not. It's a declaration of war, one you just issued without authorization. Rax settled back into his command chair, though the tension in his frame made it seem as though he might spring forward at any second. He let a few heavy breaths pass, then began speaking in the low, deliberate cadence of someone delivering a survival briefing rather than a lecture. Captain, you've read the Confederation's cultural briefs on humans? Lorvik straightened, eager to salvage some credibility. Of course, they ought to be aggressive, adaptable, unusually resilient for a mammalian species. I know their history of... No, Rax interrupted, voice flat. You know the statistics. I'm asking if you've understood them. Lorvik's silence was answer enough. Rax tapped a command on his console. A series of historical records flickered across his hollow display. Grainy images of humans in various eras, primitive armor and blades, later firearms, then sleek battle armor and starships. In each, they were the same. Surrounding, shielding, or pulling to safety a smaller figure clutched tightly in their arms. This, Rax said, gesturing to the images, is what defines them. Humans are what xenopsychologists call extreme case strategists, few offspring, immense investment, and when those young are threatened, something inside them changes. He leaned closer, his voice almost a whisper now. It is not a figure of speech when they say they will die for their children. It is not bluster when they say they will kill to protect them. These are literal, lived truths burned into their instincts. You have taken what they value most. You have given them a cause. Lorvik's brows drew together. Surely they would not risk... They will risk everything, Rax cut in. Do you know the incident at Proxima Station, 6 Earth years ago? The captain shook his head. One child, was accidentally left behind during a diplomatic exchange. Before station security could even report it, 3 unregistered human vessels breached Proxima's shields, disabled their weapons, and retrieved the child, all within 7 minutes. That would require infiltration-level intelligence and it was done without authorization from their military. No command chain, just parents, acting. Rax's voice hardened. Do you understand what this means? If parents will do this alone, what do you think an entire fleet will do when 19 of their children are taken? Lorvik swallowed, his earlier bravado bleeding away. They don't measure odds the way we do, Rax finished. They measure love. And for them, love outweighs survival every time.